Greetings YouTube. I apologize if the camera has been askew in the last few videos or is today. My cat keeps knocking the cable out of his place and I have to reset it every day. Alright, today's video is going to be one that's going to really annoy Ander. Today I'm going to talk about the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Encyclopedia Magica, a 4-volume set that was available during the second edition of the D&D game. Now, most of us who are veterans can come up with magic items off the top of our heads without a problem. And back in the first and second edition, that's what we had to do. There were no really functional, systematic, sensible magic creation rules in the game. Pretty much if you cast a permanency spell, you lost a point of constitution, which was dumb. I once heard it described that D&D in the earlier eras was pretty much a post-apocalyptic game. The characters lived in a fallen age, discovering the ruins and the magic items of a previous superior age when everybody made magic items on a regular basis. That makes about as much sense as the game did because you couldn't really systematically create magic items. It was annoying. I knew people who just flat out wouldn't do it for good reason. It didn't make sense. However, there were still lots of magic items in the game. And these books, well, there you go. Have my camera moving on me again. These books are a collection of all the different magic items that were present up to the date of publication for the AD&D game. Now, I came by these books in a rather unusual way. I had a guy in my group who was, he had a few issues with life, and he was trying to find a way in life that would make him happier. And unfortunately, he joined a really strange personality cult based on Christian fundamentalism. And as part of that, he got rid of all his gaming stuff and gave it to me. Now, I sold off the second edition stuff he gave me, and when I sold off my second edition stuff, I got rid of about 90% of my second edition games, just gone. Didn't need them. But I kept these. And when he purchased these things, he paid $25 a pop. There's a couple of these that still have the price tags on them. I just looked online yesterday, and you can get this entire 4-volume set for like 60 or 70 bucks now on secondary market. So it's didn't age well, which is not a real shocker. Now, what we have in here is a different category for each item, and it's like an encyclopedia. So you're like, right now I'm in the banner section, the banner of renown, for example. XP value, 5,000 experience points. Gold, please, value, 25,000. Yes, you actually got experience points for finding magic items, which made no sense either. Magic items themselves are reward enough. Never figured out why we did that. Now, one of the nice things is that each entry tells you where it came from. For this one came from the Land of Fate supplement. And then it gives a description of the item, and it's pure fluff. I mean, well, there are mechanics in here, you know, like, for example, the magical flag displays the moon and trailing stars of the Land of Fate, and may be used to rally and increase the morale of enlightened soldiers and other creatures. All enlightened creatures within 100 feet of the banner gain a +2 to all morale checks, and in fight at a +1 attack and damage rolls. In addition, routed individuals may make another morale check should they pass within 100 feet of the banner. The banner's magical lasts as long as its holder is alive. Should the bearer be slain, the banner evaporates and all benefits are immediately lost. See Sword of the Faithful for an explanation of enlightened. Don't ask me. I don't know. I just pilled that up randomly. I don't know what it means either. So because this is so much fluff, these books can be used by people who play any form of fantasy game. Now, obviously, if you're playing AD&D, right out of the bat, you can use these today. First or second edition, you could use these right as they are without an issue. Or if you're playing any of the clones that are based on those games, again, you're not going to have any problem running these things just as they are out of the gate. But these can be inspiration for anyone playing 3rd, I'm assuming 4th edition, and any fantasy game, BRP, for example, or Hero, Fantasy Hero, things like that. You could use these to run that without a hitch. Harp. That's what I was trying to think of the the name Harp. Harp would be my second backup fantasy game if I were going to run a game that wasn't using Pathfinder. I'd go with Harp. But I think these are a great resource, and they have a really nice feel to them. They have the classic ribbon book holder, the bookmark, which I think is very nice. And the covers, while not actually leather, are made to look and feel like leather. And that's a nice touch. It really gives them a feeling of a tome, that you're holding an ancient book, which is a nice touch. They're a slightly odd size, so they don't, they're going to stand out on your shelf. And again, that's pretty cool. They make themselves known. I like the fact that there are 4 different colors. And the fourth volume, rather, has an index to the back, which is also handy. Indexes are always a big bonus in my book. If a product that I buy doesn't have a good table of contents and a good index, it loses points. I need at least to have one, and better, both. But I always found these useful. They're a bit of nostalgia for me. They make me think of the games I've played in the past. So I recommend, if you play any kind of a fantasy game, but in particular AD&D or the clones thereof, these are things that you're definitely going to want to look at. And you should be able to find them for not a huge amount. Andrew might even be able to tell you that you can find them better prices on eBay. He does a lot of shopping on there. I don't. I don't really like eBay. So I recommend that everybody that plays D&D should give these things at least one look, for nothing other reason than a little trip down memory lane.